Hey everyone, Twisted here, and this is going to be my Gothic style tutorials. I had someone that wanted to learn how to do Gothic style avatars, and they want something basically from start to finish, like how to choose the images or the backgrounds to go with the images and things like that. And since I make my own backgrounds, it's going to be fairly easy. Here we have what I thought was a good image. It's a little bit tougher because it is a bust shot, and I'm generally not all that good with bust shots, but however, I really loved this image, so I think this is going to be something that I want to start with. Like everything else I do, I start with the image first, and we're going to choose a new background. And hang on one second. We're going to start with a new background, and we're going to go ahead and name this, or we're going to start with a new file. And I always work fairly big, so 855 is my width and 588 is my height, and that's generally my standard size thing to use, and that should, and it does, fit right on there. So I'm going to go ahead and close that on this one. And now we're going to build a background to go with it. And for that one, I work in 1000 width and 900 in height. I'm going to make sure that this is an RGB color, and we're going to go ahead and leave that transparent. And all right. So first we're going to go ahead and look for our base colors, something that will look good with that image. And I usually work in gradients, and the reason why I do that is because it gives you some coloring and some lights and shadows that you normally wouldn't have. And I actually kind of like this one. So we're going to go ahead with this. And now we're going to look for some stock images to put on there. And I'm going to start with some candles. These right here. Now, backgrounds are fairly easy to do. Some people have a really hard time with them. It depends on your style of backgrounds that you do. For me, it's more of just kind of like throwing a bunch of pictures at it and seeing what sticks. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's pretty much how I build all of my backgrounds. It's something that I sit around and just kind of not really think about and just start throwing things at it, and whatever starts to look good is what I go with. So we're going to go ahead with that, and then we're going to put this down to screen. We'll grab our trusty eraser and just start erasing some of the lines around the edges. And since it's a goth style, we're going to look for some skulls. And I'd love to say that I have a rhyme or reason on how I build my stuff, but I don't. I kind of stare at the image for a while until I figure out how I want it to look. That's pretty cool. It's not that cool anymore. Let's go ahead and change the search tools and the size and larger size. kind of like that first one. We might go back to it. But since we have pretty much of a theme on where we want to go with this, then it's going to make it a little bit easier to figure out how we want it to look. So at this point, it's pretty much just all about layering. It's trying to find things that's going to work best with that background. Don't worry about your opacities. Don't worry about any of that. Just worry about, you can go as low in opacity or as high in opacity as you want to go. Maybe you only want some certain things to show out. Your eraser tool's your best friend. Go ahead and just start erasing things around and just keep layering stuff on top of that. Alright, let's throw creepy house in there. Let's see, I actually like this one a lot. I like that one too. And you can really tell I have no rhyme or reason because, oh, this is actually better. I like this. I have a thing for staircases. Looks as though we might have to go back and turn those skulls black and white, which is fine. It's fairly a simple trick. So here we have the skulls. We're going to go ahead, make sure that this layer is selected. Go down to your adjustments panel and we're going to choose black and white, which it looks like it did the whole thing. And we're going to go ahead and merge that down, and that'll do just the skulls. And it looked like the candles were going to look pretty cool that way too, so we're going to go ahead and turn those black and white as well. And merge those down. And then we're probably going to go ahead and lower the opacity on that somewhat. And let's see, we're going to throw a couple more things at it, and we're going to go ahead with this creepy barn. I like that. It's also a background, so you got to remember that everything is not going to show up. So that's why I put a bunch of layers on top of more things, and I go with that. What's a great tutorial without a clock joke? I mean, all goth abbeys need clocks in them, right? Ew, let's throw a creepy tree in there. Let's see, creepy tree. Apparently tree has 3 E's. Oh, well that's alright, because it kind of gave us what we wanted anyway. That one right there. that one. Probably need to turn this one black and white too. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. We only wanted just a hint of it in there. And then we'll throw some brushes on top of that. Let's see. I generally work with a bunch of mirrors, but I don't know if I want to put a mirror in there. Let's see. Instead of a mirror brush, let's see what we got for mirror stock. Let's see, can we do creepy? Yeah, everything is creepy, but it generally gives us down to close to what we're looking for. And then wonderful things like this happen where we find images that look really great. Let's see. I'm going to save that for later because I'm pretty sure I can do something with that. And back to what we were doing. Looks as though it's not going to give us what we're looking for, so right there. Go ahead and resize this one up. Put that one right in the middle. Just lower it down so all we see is really just a hint of it. There we go, that looks pretty good so far. And then we'll go ahead and throw some So in the end, I mean, you're going to have some sort of idea in your mind of what you want it to look like, and just run with it, because at this point, you're going to find something that you're going to like. It's going to end up the way you want it, or you're going to find, you know, have those happy little accidents, and those are good too. I mean, a lot of times designing just comes out with a general idea and then you wind up with something completely amazing and not how you wanted it to go in the first place. So it's all about mistakes in the end, and you know, those are the mistakes that you want anyway, especially if you come out with like this amazing piece that you didn't think you were going to get in the first place. So, got some black paint there, new layer, and then just put a couple of and I don't like it over those skulls because I really like those skulls, so we're going to go back over here. Do it that way. And then new layer, and then we're going to apply image, and that's going to basically flatten that whole image. And the reason why I don't just flatten it and work that way is because if I don't like the finished product and I know what it is that I want to take out, I can just go back and take it out and start again. And then yes, I love filters and I work with filters all of the time, and we want this to be more of a dark style, and I kind of like the way that came out, so we're going to go with that. And we're going to go ahead and apply image again. We're going to go ahead and hit it with our Lucius. No, we're not. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with Topaz. And Topaz detail. This is just going to take a minute while it analyzes everything. Alright. And the reason why we're hitting it with filters before we do anything else, because it's going to give us some different effects in the end, so that's, you know, where we're going to go with that. And then I'm going to grab my trusty transtone here. Alright, perfect. So we'll go ahead and flatten this whole thing, 'cause that's it. And then we're going to go ahead and pull it over here. And it's a black and white image, so which is fine. I mean, if you want some color on your black and white, then we can do that too. We'll go ahead and do two different versions. But for now, we're going to start off with now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stop right there, and then when we come back, we'll go ahead and we'll work with the piece in general.